Yo guys, it's slyroh. You already know that today I am bringing you another Wi-Fi battle. This one is a UU battle that I had a couple days ago against xRazeOvation. He was looking for battles on Twitter, so you know I hit him up with that challenge. This is the same UU team that I brought in the last Wi-Fi battle, and if you missed that one, make sure you go check that out. Otherwise, if you are excited for today's battle, make sure you hit that like button and let me know who you think is going to win and who you think is going to be the MVP for either side, because this one was really good battle. It was good back and forth battle. I think I definitely had to do a lot of thinking, and I think he did as well. So I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's just get straight into it. My team is consisting of the Scarf Darmanitan, Spexion Mega, Focus Sash Zoroark, the specially defensive Citrus Berry, Trevenant, physically defensive Leftovers, Suicune, and the Dragon Dance Lumberry Scrafty. While he was running that Nidoking, Empoleon, Mienshao, Hydreigon, Rotom Heat, and Pidgeot, which I knew for sure was a Mega Pidgeot because nobody in the right mind runs regular Pidgeot. That would be kind of interesting to see, TBH, but I don't think it would put in that much work. So let's just get straight into the battle because there was a lot to this one. So I went with the safe lead Darmanitan because I know with my Scarf I can outspeed anything, and I knew that I could just U-turn on whatever he started off with. However, he did start off with Pidgeot, which I knew was going to be Mega Evolving. I knew that this Pidgeot was a threat, so I went straight up for that Rock Slide, which I don't know if he knew I had. Unfortunately for me, he does have the Protect, and that's exactly what he uses first turn to scout what I had. If he did not have that, that would probably have ended off a lot better for me. But either way, I decided that instead of switching out, the obvious switch was obvious, that maybe he would stay in and just do a lot of damage with something of mine, so I thought the safer play was to go for the Rock Slide. I do miss, and it really doesn't matter, it wouldn't have done that much anyway, but I do have switch-ins to Empoleon, so I really wasn't that scared. This time I do go into the Scrafty, and he does use Stealth Rock. This actually becomes important that Scrafty stays at full health here because of reasons that you will find out later. And he does switch out of the Empoleon and go into Nidoking. I decided that this was a great opportunity to go for knockoff because I knew the switch was coming, and I knocked off the Nidoking's Life Orb. At this point, I didn't know if Nidoking was physical or special. I thought it might be physical because he had 4 other Pokemon on his team that were special attackers. So, I did go into Suicune for that reason because I thought it was physical and that I would eat up a physical hit. Unfortunately for me, this Nidoking is special, and if that Life Orb had stayed on the Nidoking, I would probably be regretting the switch in even more so than I already did. That Sludge Wave did almost half, which I was a little scared about, and I almost switched back out. However, I didn't have a great switch into it, so I decided to stay in knowing that I could live one more, but then afterwards my Suicune would basically be dead. And I decided to take that risk anyway. Because of the fact that he had a lot of special attackers, my Suicune was less effective in my opinion. It couldn't take as many hits, things like that. So I did decide to go straight for the kill, get the first kill, knocked out the Nidoking. We're doing good. However, he does go for Rotom, and I wasn't sure what he was going to do. I was hoping that maybe he would overpredict, thinking I was switch out, go for like an overheat or something, and I would stay in and rest, but unfortunately I did not get the chance to do that. And I do decide to go into Darmanitan because I thought Rock Slide would be good, and I also always just kind of assume that every Rotom is Scarfed, so I wanted to make sure that I outsped it, and the only thing that outspeeds a Scarfed Rotom on my team would be a Scarfed Darmanitan. Unfortunately, he reveals that he is Rest, and he's Resto Chesto, and also that Rock Slide didn't do a whole lot. It did do more than half, so I am happy about that. So I believe I do go for Rock Slide again, even though I was not predicting all that and everything. I figured it was still my best switch. I was pretty sure that he was going into the Empoleon. However, I didn't have a great switch into Rotom, so I decided to just go for the obvious play instead of getting out predicted. And if he would have stayed in, went for, you know, something like Overheat, and I had went into Trevenant, like that would have been really bad for me. But either way, at this time I do go for the Trevenant because this is a max special defense Trevenant. I know that I could eat up an Ice Beam. I'm not that worried about a Scald because I was really sending him in to set up a Leech Seed. He does go for the Scald, but if I do remember correctly, he does not get the burn, which is fine because I really wanted to be able to use Horn Leash at some point. I didn't expect him to stay in though, but he didn't have any grass types on his team, so I knew that I would be able to hit something with Leech Seed, which is exactly what I do. He goes straight back out to the Rotom, and I go for a Leech Seed. I remember taking a lot of time on this play because I didn't know if he was going to overheat or if he was going to overpredict and go for like a Volt Switch. If he had went for a Volt Switch, then me staying in with the Trevenant would have been a great thing. However, after much deliberation, I did decide that he was probably just going to go for overheat, so I go into Darmanitan to take the overheat, and thankfully, I was correct in that assumption, so that turns out to be a good play. That was a really, really risky move, but really, no matter what I did in that situation, it would have been risky. Now, I'm not entirely sure what I do at this point. I think this may have been the point in the battle where I went for Fire Punch, expecting him to switch out. He had already switched out twice, so I thought he was definitely going to switch out. I didn't know if he was going to go into Empoleon again, because going into the same Pokemon 3 times in a row is not necessarily the best thing to do. I did go for the Fire Punch, knowing that that would do the most amount of damage to whatever came in, and I got a one-hit KO against the Mienshao. So right now, things are looking really, really good. I wasn't sure if this was a Scarfed Hydreigon, so going for this, I wasn't entirely sure. I did decide to sack off the Darmanitan and find out if it was Scarfed. Thankfully, the Hydreigon is not Scarfed, which means that I have things that outspeed it. Mostly the Zoroark. And speaking of Zoroark, that is what comes in right now. Remember how I said how Scrafty had full health, things like that? Well, I sent in the Zoroark, who also had full health, took rock damage, and it looks like a Scrafty. He was not expecting that, so yeah, I went for Focus Blast. I was aiming for the Hydreigon, but he switched into his Empoleon, which took a Focus Blast, and he was not ready for the Focus Blast because most Scrafties don't have Focus Blast, for a good reason, because mine didn't either, because this is a Zoroark. However, due to like, the way the teams were like listed out, things like that, he thought my Trevenant, like the Zoroark would have been a Trevenant, but either way, he decided to let his Empoleon die after seeing that, knowing that it wasn't really that necessary anymore, especially now that Darmanitan is gone. He doesn't need anything to switch into it, so he does go for the Hurricane, trying to take out the Scrafty, and he does, except for it is a Zoroark. He does find this out, and yeah, that was quite a surprise to him. It was pretty funny. I think I got a lot of people. I didn't plan for that to happen. I didn't plan for Zoroark to look like a Scrafty. However, once I saw the opportunity for Zoroark looking like a Scrafty to use Focus Blast, and that was the best play for me, I decided to go with it. Either way, I go into my actual Scrafty now, and I do go for Ice Punch, knowing, actually pretty sure that I could live one Hurricane, but he does end up switching out after seeing that I have Ice Punch into the Rotom. The Rotom takes it tremendously, and speaking of Scrafty's pretty high special attack, or Scrafty's high special defense, I knew I could take an overheat, so I decided to stay in and go for a Dragon Dance. Dragon Dance sweeping was basically the only way I was going to win this battle because of that Pidgeot. That Pidgeot had to be taken down, so I had to make sure that I outspeed the Pidgeot. Seeing as one overheat did barely half, I knew another one was going to do even less, so I decided to Dragon Dance. I also have the Lumberry in case he tries to burn me, so that way I'm still solid. And as predicted, or not really as predicted, he did go for a Will-O-Wisp to try and stop me, but I did have the Lumberry to take that, and I decided to go for a Drain Punch now because I knew he was going to go for Will-O-Wisp again. I was hoping this was going to take it out, but this is a max defense Rotom Heat, and that may have just won him the battle, because if this was not max defensive Rotom Heat, I would have taken that out, and I would have proceeded to sweep. But he does get the burn off, and unfortunately, that is going to matter. Because the special attack is still down, I did go for another Dragon Dance, hoping that I could get up enough attack to OHKO a Pidgeot, the Mega Pidgeot. However, after this overheat, and because of the adding burn damage that I knew was going to keep happening, I knew I had to go on the attack now if I wanted any chance of sweeping. I knew I could one-shot Hydreigon, and I was hoping that I could one-shot the Mega Pidgeot. And you guys are going to see what happens here, because I was pretty upset when I saw this happen, to be honest. And I also got the Moxie boost, so like right now I'm basically +2, despite the fact that I'm burned, because I used Dragon Dance after I got burned for the third time, and then I got the Moxie boost. Pidgeot comes out, and I was like, yo, an Ice Punch is totally going to take out this Mega Pidgeot. There is no way that this thing's going to take it. But it did. I don't know the kind of investment he has, but that thing took an Ice Punch from a Scrafty. Much respect. I have so much respect for Mega Pidgeot right now. It is insane. It is a really good Pokemon, and I actually really want to try one out for myself. I sent in Trevenant. Trevenant is max special defense. I was like, maybe there's a chance, crossing my fingers, maybe he can take it. Yes. Not at all. There was no chance that I was going to live that. So that does take out the Trevenant, and all I have is my Yanmega, which unfortunately I don't have a Scarf. I don't have Protect to Speed Boost. It is Specs, and that does come back to haunt me as the Hurricane does take out my Yanmega, and that is going to end the match. And that was really, really close. Had that Ice Punch taken out the Pidgeot, I would have swept with Scrafty, and it would have been really good for me. However, my team is just not prepared to go against a Mega Pidgeot, which I found out because I actually had another battle after this where I also got swept by a Mega Pidgeot. So I'm going to work with this team and see if I can maybe switch something to make it better able to deal with Mega Pidgeot in the future, because that thing is such a threat. It is ridiculous. But either way, that is GG. I would definitely encourage you to watch the battle from his side. I know he posted it on his channel as well. I'll leave his link in the description, though you should already know who he is. And yeah, that's going to wrap up today's battle. If you did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button and tell me what you thought about the battle down in the comment section below. And that's going to wrap it up. So until the next time, guys, stay sly.